How's it going, everyone? Wanted to provide another update on the Evora S salvage restoration project that I've taken on. It's been delayed a few days with some recent discoveries. Kind of gross, but the story is that the car did sit in Louisiana 2.5 years, something like that. And you can see that the windshield is smashed. So even though it was under a tarp in a barn, inevitably vermin were able to get in. So a lot of mouse droppings, toilet paper that was torn up, made into nests, and bugs. Lots of bugs in this thing. Some of them were still alive. So I kind of freaked out. Went and got some foggers from Home Depot and set one off in the car. Killed everything as far as I could tell, but wasn't taking any chances. So the interior, walk you through it, is effectively all out. Going to be removing one door panel and the dash just to be thorough, but the rest of the interior is out. There's actually a decent amount of rust on the heads of the rivets and some of the bolts, so I'm going to be replacing all that. Just basically gone to Amazon and gotten a ton of M8 and M6 stainless hardware. Kind of wish they did that from the factory, but I get it. It's expensive and it's heavier, I guess. But yeah, the whole interior is out. The headliner I'm actually going to be pulling out momentarily. I guess I'll do a time lapse for that. And then the door panel. Interesting thing, taking this apart, you kind of learn how it was definitely made by hand. So even simple things like the door handle, securing it to the door panel, it's not really a connector. It's actually screwed on there by hand. And so little appointments like that, and the lack of wire ties, in excessive spots. There's a lot of loose cables that's behind the panels that you don't really see because the panels are hiding it. You see like the safety connections here and the trunk for the rear parking sensors. It just reminds you that this thing is definitely hand built. So it's unique, but it's also not the typical Audi Porsche level of assembly that I'm used to. So just taking you through the interior. You can see the interior is all out. Kind of nasty. I don't know what the hell this is, if it's mud or just gross. So my plan is, I already have a guy that did my headliner on one of my other project cars, so I'm just literally going to bring him all of this stuff. This isn't really even worth salvaging. I mean, I could scrub it and clean it, but I don't know. I think it'll look better in micro suede or Alcantara anyway, so see if I'll do that. Rear speaker shelves, all this stuff looks pretty good. Leather trim around the console, that could all be cleaned up, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Insulation is gross. This isn't even dry after sitting for like 3 days. It's high density. I'm just going to buy new, and then I'll cut it to fit just like it is, or just run without it, but I'd rather have the insulation for sound and for temperature. Door panels are good. So that's that. So the interior overall, not terrible. So I'm going to scrub all this. I'll get the dash out, and I'll make sure that this is all cleaned thoroughly. I did notice that the radio doesn't function. The LCD screen must have gotten wet, so that's kind of defective. I'm going to see about replacing the screen. I did notice that the car had a couple upgrades, so really cool to see this. This isokinetic or whatever it is, but this is their 111R, I think, shifter, but it's like their top of the line shifter. It's really nice. So I thought it felt a little different than what I would expect from stock, and sure enough, that's an upgraded shifter. He also had, I don't know if I could even see it inside here, but had the BOE intake, which I noticed, and then underneath had the BOE headers underneath as well. And then this is that custom exhaust. But I did send an email inquiry to BOE and got a response right away from, I believe, Andrew. And he confirmed, yeah, based on this VIN and the name of the previous owner, He confirmed he had the BOE intake, the exhaust, and you know, they're nice headers. I think they're decatted, which I don't think it'll be a problem here, but we'll see. I might have to throw a cat on or something, but it also has their tune, so it should be good for around 60 to 70 horsepower over stock, which is nice. So that'll bring it around to 400 horsepower to the crank, which is perfect because that's really what I was planning on doing anyway. So yeah, we'll see. Have the dash out today, and then the next update is also going to be the clam, front clam. Now that I don't have a car here, I was able to finish that other project car. I'm planning on removing the clam, placing it over to the left, and then seeing how I could fix this damage. I could tell you right off the bat, when I crawled under here, you can see the power steering rack was split in half. This all looks good, but on this side, what I think happened is, you can see the marks here. Took a hit, bent the tie rod, snapped the power steering, and then this subframe is hosed. So I have a replacement subframe on the way from a used car dealer that broke one down in California. So they sent it over freight. So I'll be seeing how to install that. I have control arms on the way. I have a power steering rack on the way. And I sent a whole laundry list of all these little brackets. I don't really want to fabricate it. If it's cheap enough just to buy it used, I'll just get it used. As well as the radiator. Radiator was leaking. Not going to even bother trying to repair it. I found an aftermarket one from Wizard for 500 bucks. So that's it for now. I'll provide another update once I have the dash fully out, and we'll see what other surprises I have waiting for me.